Already we have completed the chapters like living world, biological classification and plant kingdom. So today's portion is animal kingdom. So at first I will discuss on animal kingdom. So kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia. As you know that the process of classification, the process of taxonomy and systematics, on the basis of some character, we divide or classify the group of organism. So on the same pattern, we will divide the animal kingdom. So kingdom Animalia, in your syllabus, whatever the animal, all are multicellular. Remember this, all animals are multicellular according to R.H. Whitaker 5 kingdom classification 1969. So kingdom Animalia basically divided on the basis of tissue system. On the basis of tissue system. For some group of organism, tissue system is absent, and for some group of organism, tissue system is present. For those group of organism, tissue system is absent, they are classified as first phylum Porifera. Remember this, first phylum Porifera. Those have the tissue system, they are further classified on the basis of germ layer. What is germ layer? What is germ layer? As you know, germ layer means we have, for humans I am talking about, you studied that portion in class 12 reproduction in human chapter, in the last half of the human reproduction. So germ layer means embryonic layer. Remember this, germ layer means embryonic layer. So some organism have two layers. They are called as diploblastic. They called as diploblastic because they have two germ layer. One is ectoderm, another is endoderm. One is ectoderm, another is endoderm. Okay, and some group of organism are triploblastic. Some are triploblastic. So that means they have three germ layer, like outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, and inner endoderm. Remember this, inner endoderm. So that is the characteristics on the basis of germ layer. Same group are classified on another point like symmetry. What is symmetry? Symmetry means if we cut the animals, some group of organisms are like the oval. They have the oval shape or the rounded shape. So we can cut, suppose this is the kind of organism, here you can see, and we can cut a plus cut. This is called as radially symmetrical. So this one is radially symmetrical. Radially symmetrical. Okay, and for some group of organism, they are bilaterally symmetrical. They are bilaterally symmetrical. Bilaterally symmetrical. So bilaterally symmetrical means, suppose if you take me or human beings. So if we cut the human from this portion, from this half, from this portion, so it will be equal half. If we cut through the belly portion, it will not be equal half. So if we cut from this portion, it will create a mirror image. So this is the bilateral symmetry. Remember this. So those group of organism have the diploblastic germ layer. They also have the characteristics like they are also radially symmetrical. Remember this. And those group of organism are triploblastic. They also have bilaterally symmetry. Okay, so those are diploblastic and radially symmetrical. They are further classified into second phylum. I am writing the phylum as P. Remember this. So second phylum, Cnidaria. Okay, and the third phylum as Ctenophora. Okay, so total 3 phylum already we have. Remember this, in living world portion we have studied the taxonomy and systematics. So how it generally done, how the classification process actually done, by taking some of the important characteristics. Here you can see tissue system absent or presence. On the basis of tissue system absence or presence, we classify the group of organism. On the basis of the germ layer, we can classify the group of organism. On the basis of symmetry, we can classify the group of organism. So this is the important thing. Okay, so already we have phylum Porifera, phylum Cnidaria and phylum Ctenophora. Now those are bilaterally symmetrical. They also further classified. And is coelom. Coelom. What is coelom? Coelom is the cavity. Coelom is the cavity that actually present in between the gut wall and body wall. So outer side of the gut wall and the inner side of the body wall, the vacant space is there, that is called a coelom. Remember this. Inner side of the body wall and the outer side of the gut wall, the space is there, is known as the coelom. So those are diploblastic and bilaterally symmetrical. They are classified on the basis of coelom. So some of the group of organism are acoelomate because absence of coelom. Remember this, absence of coelom. A in biology means, or A in biology means absence. So absence of coelom, acoelomate. Some group of organism have some cavities, but that cavity is false cavity. So false cavity, that means they are pseudocoelomate. They are known as pseudocoelomate. And some has ideal coelom, and that ideal coelom is known as eucoelomate. Okay, Eu in biology means ideal. Eucoelomate. So those are triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical. They are classified on the basis of coelom. So coelom means the cavity between the gut wall and the body wall. Okay, some does not have the cavity, they are acoelomate. Some has cavity, but that cavity is false, so they are called as pseudocoelomates. Some has ideal cavity and they are called as eucoelomate. So those group of animals that does not have the coelom, they are the fourth phylum. And that phylum is Porifera. Phylum is, okay, phylum is those with the pseudocoelomate. They are the fifth phylum. In your book, it's written as Aschelminthes, but the modern name is Nematoda. So here I am writing the Nematoda, the modern name, Nematoda. Okay, and those are eucoelomates. They are further classified. They are further classified. Just take the screenshot from here. So it will be far better if you write down this. Some of the portion of this part is mentioned in the NCERT, but not all the portions. Okay, this is, remember, this is the actual way and the authenticate way for the process of classification. Remember this. So kingdom Animalia is basically classified on the basis of tissue system. Some group of organism have the tissue system. Remember, phylum Porifera, they are the multicellular. They are the multicellular, but the cell, group of cell, you know, the group of cell, if they have the similar kind of function, that is called a tissue, which is absent in case of poriferans. Porifera are multicellular, but their multiple cell does not perform a single action, okay, or combined actions. So their tissue system is absent. Those have the tissue system, they are further divided and they are further classified on the basis of germ layer. I already told you that germ layer means embryonic layer. You can write down that portion, that the germ layer means embryonic layer. So some group of organisms have two layers, ectoderm and endoderm. So they are called as diploblastic, and some group of organism is called as triploblastic because they have ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Mesoderm is the middle portion. Now, if I discuss that those are triploblastic and bilaterally symmetrical, they are further classified on the basis of coelom. So, what is coelom? Coelom is the just a body, just between a just a cavity between the body wall and a gut wall. Some of the group of organism, they does not have that kind of cavity. So, absence of cavity is known as acoelomate. Okay, some of the group of organism have some cavity, but that is not the ideal cavity. So they are known as the nematoda. Okay, they are they are pseudocoelomates. They are pseudocoelomates, and some of the group of organism, they have the ideal coelom. In biology, U means ideal. I think that point is clear. But whenever you will study the points of the NCERT, in your NCERT book, Porifera is also known as, it's written there, acoelomate. Nidaria also acoelomate. Ctenophora is also acoelomate. Yes, this is correct. Porifera, Nidaria and Ctenophora, those three group of organism, those three phylums, obviously they are acoelomate. But the major points, they lack mesoderm. Because this coelom layer is actually originated from the mesodermal layer. Please do remember this. This coelom layer is actually originated from the mesoderm. So obviously Porifera, Nidaria and Ctenophora, they are diploblastic. Remember this, Porifera also belong to the diploblastic organism. Okay, so Porifera, Nidaria and Ctenophora, they are diploblastic. So middle mesodermal layer is absent. So obviously they are acoelomate. But specifically, why? Sorry, just one mistake is there. One mistake is there. This is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. So, for Platyhelminthes, they have the coelom, they have the mesodermal layer, but absence of the coelom. They have the mesodermal layer, but the absence of coelom. So they are actually, we can say, they are acoelomates. For nematoda, in your book, it's given as Aschelminthes, but the modern name Aschelminthes, then it's converted into Nemathelminthes, and the modern name which is actually applied, that is nematoda. Okay, and then those have the ideal coelom. they are called as eucoelomate. Now, just take the screenshot of that section. Now, we will discuss the portion of the eucoelomate. Those are with the ideal coelom or eucoelomate, they are further classified on the basis of fate of blastopore. Remember this, fate of blastopore. Fate of blastopore. What is blastopore? Actually, suppose this is the ovum and this is the sperm, and during the process of fertilization, sperm penetrate through the ovum membrane and enter inside of the ovum. Okay, so that cavity through which the sperm enter in future, that cavity remember this cavity in future for some group of organism it becomes the mouth, and for some group of organism it becomes the anus. So for those organism the blastopore become the anus, they are blastopore become the mouth, they are called as protostomia. Protostomia, remember this, protostomia. Protostomia. And for those group of organism the blastopore become the anus, they are known as deuterostomia. Deuterostomia. So blastopore become mouth for some group of organism and blastopore become anus. So here blastopore become anus. Blastopore become mouth in case of protostomia. In case of protostomia. And in case of the deuterostomia, here blastopore become anus. Remember this. So protostomia and deuterostomia based on the fate of blastopore. Based on the fate of blastopore. So those are protostomia. We can further classify them. We can further classify them on the basis of body segmentation. Remember, on the basis of body segmentation. Body segmentation. For some group of organism, their body is segmented, and for some group of organism, their body is not segmented. Those group of organism, their body is segmented, they are further classified on the basis of exoskeleton. Remember, on the basis of exoskeleton. Exoskeleton. For some group of organism, their body have no external exoskeleton, and for some group of organism they have exoskeleton. So already we have complete up to nematoda. It's the fifth. First is Porifera, second is Cnidaria, third is Ctenophora, fourth is Platyhelminthes, fifth is Nematoda. So the sixth phylum. Sixth phylum, that means they does not have any exoskeleton, but their body is segmented and they belongs to the protostomia. Okay, so they are the sixth phylum, that is Annelida. Annelida. Remember, very important group of phylum. Very important group of phylum. And those have the exoskeleton and also their body is segmented. they are the seventh phylum Arthropoda. Arthropoda. Remember this, Arthropoda. They are the seventh phylum Arthropoda. Okay, and for those group of organism, their body is not segmented. Their body is not segmented. It's called as phylum Mollusca. Phylum Mollusca. Mollusca. So do remember, very important. So within Protostomia, Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca, these three phylum belongs. Okay, within the Protostomia, Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca, these three phylums are there. Very important. Okay, do remember this one. So those are the Deuterostomia. They are further classified on the basis of notochord. Remember this, on the basis of notochord. Notochord. For some group of organism, they have the notochord, and for some group of organism, they lack the notochord. Those lack the notochord, they further classified on the basis of external spine. External spine. Remember this, external spine. For some group of organism, they have the external spine, and for some group of organism, they lack the external spine. Okay, so those have the external spine, but absence of notochord belongs to the Deuterostomia. They are the ninth phylum. They are Echinodermata. Okay, they are Echinodermata. Those lack the external spine and also absence of notochord. They belongs to the Deuterostomia. They are the 10th phylum. Remember this. They are the 10th phylum. They called as Hemichordata. Hemichordata. Okay. Hemichordata. And those have notochord, they are called as the 11th phylum, that is Chordata. So do remember this, that within Protostomia, total 3 phylum is there. Total 3 phylum. One is Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca. And within Deuterostomia, also 3 phylum, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. Very important. So 3 phylum from the Protostomia, 3 phylum from the Deuterostomia. Again, Protostomia and Deuterostomia, what is the basic difference in between them? They are blastopore. For Protostomia, for that group, their blastopore become the mouth. For Deuterostomia, their blastopore become the anus. Okay, so within Protostomia, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, that they belongs, and for Deuterostomia, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata belongs. Very important. Please do remember this, because this kind of question usually asked. So, which of the following phylum belongs to the group of Protostomia, or which of the following phylum belongs to the Deuterostomia? So, this type of questions are very common in case of competitive exam. Please do remember this. We have in our animal kingdom, remember, we have total 11 phylum. So just to recall the from the initials, first phylum is Porifera, second Cnidaria, Ctenophora, third, fourth is our Platyhelminthes, fifth Nemathelminthes, sixth is Annelida, 7th Arthropoda, 8th Mollusca, 9th Echinodermata, 10th Hemichordata and 11th Chordata. If you study on that way, this will be very much benefited to understand the process of classification. Generally, I think in your class 11 level, you have studied the way like these are the following points and you have to remember. That is not the authentic way, and it will be very tough to remember. Okay, I think that that is the way to easily you can remember the major points. And if you study that chart, suppose it will take 1 page of your notebook, and it will be very easy to understand how the process of classification usually done. Okay, so this one is very much important to solve various MCQ question. In our syllabus, we have to only study up to phylum chordata. Okay, for rest this 11 phylum, we have to study their phylum points, and only for the chordates we have to go up to the class level.